So we're going to read the prompt and then we are going to take a look at the blank spreadsheet. What's nice is everything is linked into this, so if you don't want to click down here on these links or you download the prompt, it's also going to be linked to the prompt as well. So this is a very helpful activity. You're going to be thinking about the skills you have and then translating them to make them persuasive to a potential employer. So you know that you have lots of skills, you know that you can do many things well, you know that you're going to be great for the job, but how do you tell your potential employer that you are great for the job? Alright, so I don't want you to start this assignment trying to think of what you would like to be, the type of employee you would like to be someday, the type of skills that you would like to have someday. I want you to be realistic about the skills that you have, what level of skills you have, as a way of taking stock of your very strong skills, but also recognizing maybe some skills that you need to develop that maybe have some weak spots. So for example, if you find that you don't have a lot of volunteer experience, or you want to go into finance but you don't have a lot of experience with a certain type of software, this is a good place for you to realize those shortcomings so that you can start to develop those skills. So maybe you decide that you want to take a class in this type of software or a workshop to help you get that skill. So what you're going to do is you're going to download this blank worksheet, this spreadsheet, and I'm going to have that up on one window when it decides to open. There we go. You want to enable editing, and you're going to want to save this as another file because a lot of students will accidentally upload the wrong version of the file. So you want to make sure that you save as whatever you want to save it as, and that you upload the correct document when it's time to submit. Okay, so what you're going to do is look at the job skills checklist and the action verb chart, which I have up here, and they're going to give you a bunch of action verbs and then a bunch of skills to help kind of inspire you and give you some ideas. You don't have to use these skills. You can use any skills that you want. Sometimes looking at this list will help you to remember, oh, I have that skill, even if you may not have thought of it initially. So a lot of you might have this skill, speaking to the public. Or what about negotiating conflicts? Things that maybe you didn't realize that you're actually really good at doing. Even listening to others could be something from your personal life that you never thought about developing into a job skill. There we go. So this is the spreadsheet that you're going to use. You're going to list your skill in this column. Tell me where you experienced or acquired this skill and what you did to develop the skill. And then you're going to try to give very concrete evidence of this skill. We're going to talk about the difference between quantitative and qualitative data here. Quantitative means that it has numbers, you can prove it, whereas qualitative data has to do with the word quality. A lot of qualitative data is less hard science, all right? So you want to make sure that you're using evidence that is very specific and measurable. And then you want to talk about what proficiency level you are at. You can set your own scale. Let's say you want to do 1 to 5, and then you put 5 being mastery. That would be good. If you make up your own scale, you want to tell me what the scale is. You don't just want to say 1 to 5 because I don't know what that means. You could also have beginner or intermediate, expert, any proficiency level, however you want to create your scale. And then in this column you're going to list several action verbs. So let's go back to here. There is no set or assigned number of skills that I want you to do. However, I think that you should have no less than 15 different skills listed on your inventory sheet. So I want 15 skills, and then it says action verbs, so several action verbs for each skill, maybe 2 or 3 for each skill. Okay? You can also look at the student examples in this folder to help give you ideas. So in this folder we have 3 different professional skills inventory examples. This one has that very specific and measurable qualitative data that we talked about. This one has really great skills that they developed from their education. So a lot of students get very nervous that they do not have any job skills yet. Perhaps you have never held a job. You have only been a student. So this example right here does a great job of helping you brainstorm some ideas of skills that you have as a student. Planning meetings, coping with deadlines, okay? These are all things that you could use on your resume. I know it doesn't seem like you could, but this is the first step, all right? So I want you to take a look at some of these examples because they're very helpful in looking to see how to do this assignment. You can see some of the verbs that they've used, things from their personal life, things from jobs that they have held. Here in the quantitative data section, they've got 2 years of experience. They trained 50 employees, how much they earned, how many people they supervised. These are all very good details. Rather than saying they trained employees, we've got a number of employees. That's going to tell our future employer so much more than just saying I trained other people. I'm going to pause for a second here. Okay, we're back now. I thought about some skills that I have that I would have had before I finished my degrees, so I included them here. So I'm going to walk through the process of me filling out this for my skills. So training and teaching others, I was a TA for a physical science class in college. Right. And I took some training classes, so I had to be trained. I also had to get a good grade in the class. Okay, so that's how I acquired the skill. That's what I did to become a teacher, right? When I was, very new in my undergraduate experience. What can I refer to that exemplifies this skill or makes it concrete? So instead of just saying, oh, I was a TA, I'm going to say that I taught other students in a walk-in lab for 7 to 10 hours per week. I also taught weekly lab sessions, lab breakout on my own. I had 25 to 50 students each semester. I planned my own lessons and executed them. All right. So at this point in my education, we'll say this is 10, 15 years ago, I would have said that I was somewhere in the middle. I was still developing my teaching skills, but I felt that I was pretty good at it. So I'm going to do a 1 to 5 scale. And 1 is going to be beginner, have a really hard time spelling beginner. That's how you spell beginner. And 5 is expert. So I'm going to put that for this time of my life. I'm not going to say it was how about a 3.5? All right. I was really good at teaching. It came very naturally to me, but I wasn't an expert yet. I didn't have a degree in teaching yet. So then I'm going to think about some action verbs. So I'm going to go here, maybe look at this or this PDF right here. And then I can kind of find some teaching skills action verbs. Isn't that lovely? So I would maybe put adapted because I had to adapt my lesson plans. I was teaching science to people who weren't necessarily very scientifically minded. So I had a lot of songs that I would sing for them and mnemonic devices. So I adapted my lesson plans. I instructed. I had to plan my lessons, things like that. Maybe there's some more on here. Motivated. I hope I was motivating. All right, let's move on to my next skill. Setting goals, planning, organizing tasks. I'm going to say that this is from my personal life. I set goals in a bullet journal. I love journaling. I love keeping a very meticulous schedule. So I'm going to put keep a bullet journal. I make and set specific measurable personal goals. Okay? And then I need to think about evidence of this skill. So I do have my bullet journal that I could pull out and show someone and say, wow, look how organized I am. Perhaps I could write about some goals that I've actually met. So maybe I could say I planned and saved money for a trip to China, which I did do. I'm trying to think of goals that I've maintained. I also have planning and organizing tasks on here. I could say that I have never missed an appointment that I have scheduled in my bullet journal. I don't know, something like that. Okay, this is going to be more qualitative data, but that's okay. I would say that I am an expert in bullet journaling. I'm really good at it. So let's see. Organization or detailed. So maybe cataloging, that's part of my journaling. I catalog all of my tasks. Achieved these goals, succeeded. I like these. All right. What was the organizational one? Maintained, monitored, catalog, organized, scheduled. Okay. All right, coordinating schedules and planning meetings and working with others. I'm going to pretend that maybe I'm one of you students and that I learned this skill in WP Carey 101, or maybe there was Business Communication 101 or something like that. So I'm going to put down one of my comm courses. I'm just going to make up a number here. All right, so that's what I'm going to write here. So had to get together for a group project in this class. So evidence for this skill. Planned, coordinated. Oh, these are all really good verbs actually. There we go. Had to make time to meet with 6 group members for a group project. We also had to give a presentation in front of the class. Okay, so that kind of helps. We say I was so good at that. I was really good. Working with others, maybe I said that I was the project manager for a group project. Or maybe this is an engineering course or something like that. Maybe we had to build something. I don't know. And then you're going to say what you did, but you want to be as specific as possible. So how did you work with others? Maybe I mediated a conflict between two group members, and we were able to complete the project, and we earned 100% on it. It was the highest grade in the class. Okay, that is going to be evidence that I did a good job of working with others. So maybe I'll put, I'm a 5 here. Okay, and then let's go do our list of skills here. Management and leadership skills. So maybe I handled the situation. Maybe I presided over the group. Maybe I strengthened the group or mediated or collaborated. So those are all going to be very good verbs for me. So we'll put, which ones did I like there? Facilitated. This takes time, but it's good. Oh, I liked motivated. Oh, I already used that one. I guess I like it. You can tell. Collaborated. It's a good one. There we go. Now those of you who are looking at all of these and you're like, great, these are all personal life or student stuff. What about my work? Yes, of course you can put your work experience in here. Obviously, that's something we definitely want. So I did work as a as a cashier at a department store. It's good times. So how did I acquire? They trained me for a week. Now I'm going to say what I actually did. So I had to count down the drawers. I had to maintain an accurate cash drawer. So I want to show that I was very trustworthy. So I would have to close the store. And I want to give evidence of this. So we actually had a chart where we could look at our progress of how correct or how balanced our drawer was. So I would say my drawer I'm going to put plus or minus 5 cents. So I was always pretty well on. So that shows that I'm trustworthy, that I wasn't pocketing money from my cash drawer, that I was trusted to close the store. So I was pretty good at that. So let's look at handling money. So we've got handled, financial skills here, calculated, these are also detailed skills. I had to be very detailed with everything as well. So maybe I put organized in here as well. Okay, so this is what you're going to see. So I've got different skills from all over my school, my personal life, a crappy job that I had right out of high school and in college. Things like this are going to help you even if you think that it's not immediately applicable. Any job will work. Any job will help you think of these skills. You can look at the examples. Students have been coaches with children, so you know, they volunteered, they guided, they helped, they won games, maybe they're in a club and they spearheaded a project, okay? Even if you've never had an actual paying job, there are skills from volunteer work, from your classes, from your personal life that you can put in here. So that's how you go about creating your professional skills inventory. I know it was a long video, but I hope that it was helpful for you to see someone kind of walking through the process. Please do take a good look at the student examples. They will also help you. There's lots of action verbs in here as well. And then these are kind of funny, how to incorporate silly things like Dungeons and Dragons into your resume. You can see that these are some of your skills. They met with coworkers twice weekly, gained necessary experience promoting character and skill growth. So these are kind of funny, but you can see how you can turn any experience into an opportunity to showcase your skills.